Now more than ever, we are living in what C.S. Lewis's Devil Screwtape called the kingdom of noise. And I'm not just referring to the obvious increase in external noise created by nonstop news, entertainment, and the buzzing of the devices in our pockets and purses. I'm primarily referring to what all that external noise creates, namely internal noise that blocks our ability to be silent and reflective. Our lack of solitude stands in stark contrast to the way of Jesus. The number of times the Gospels mention Jesus withdrawing to a solitary place is staggering. In the third Gospel alone, Luke mentions Jesus' love of lonely places 3 times in just 1.5 chapters. See Luke 4:42, 5:15, and 6:12. My favorite mention of Jesus' pursuit of solitude is when he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place to get away from the crowds. See Matthew 14:13. So important was silence to Jesus that he would literally just jump into a boat to get away from all the noise to pray, think, and listen to his Father's voice. And oh, by the way, the busier Jesus got, the more it appears he sought out silence. Luke 5:15 through 16 says that as the news about him spread all the more, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Jesus' example leads us to the third principle we need to be purposeful, present, and wildly productive. Principle number 3, dissent from the kingdom of noise. To redeem our time in the model of our Redeemer, we must fight to block out noise and create room for silence, stillness, and reflection. If we want to do our most exceptional work for the glory of God and the good of others, we, like Jesus, must fight for the quiet solitude we need to think, be creative, and listen to God's voice. How can we do that today? How practically can we dissent from the kingdom of noise? One way is to allow your friends to curate noisy news for you. I recorded a quick video to explain what I mean by this. You can find a link to that video in the text version of today's devotional right here in the YouVersion Bible app.
Early the next morning, Jesus went out to an isolated place. The crowds searched everywhere for him, and when they finally found him, they begged him not to leave them. But despite Jesus' instructions, the report of his power spread even faster, and vast crowds came to hear him preach and to be healed of their diseases. But Jesus often withdrew to the wilderness for prayer. One day soon afterward, Jesus went up on a mountain to pray, and he prayed to God all night. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. But the crowds heard where he was headed and followed on foot from many towns. One day Jesus came from Nazareth in Galilee, and John baptized him in the Jordan River. As Jesus came up out of the water, he saw the heavens splitting apart, and the Holy Spirit descending on him like a dove. And a voice from heaven said, "You are my dearly loved Son, and you bring me great joy." The Spirit then compelled Jesus to go into the wilderness. The wicked are too proud to seek God. They seem to think that God is dead. Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world.